Welcome. S. Joe Bhatia, President and CEO of the American National Standards Institute, welcomed participants to the first ANSI Homeland Security Standards Panel workshop, addressing emergency preparedness for persons with disabilities and special needs, on behalf of the members and staff of ANSI and the HSSP, and called the meeting to order. A complete list of workshop attendance is attached at the end of this meeting report. Mr. Bhatia emphasized the need to examine the current standards landscape and address the gaps to be filled, as well as improvements to be made related to this critical topic, with the end goal of assuring the safety and well-being of this community in the event of an emergency or disaster. Mr. Bhatia highlighted the need to examine examples of the evacuation of people with disabilities in recent events, general concepts surrounding mass evacuations, specific lessons learned from these recent events, and the perspective from the population of people with disabilities. Mr. Bhatia extended accolades to the workshop co-leaders, Hillary Styron, Director of the National Organization on Disability and Emergency Preparedness Initiative, and Alan Frazier, Senior Building Code Specialist and National Fire Protection Association, for their leadership in convening this workshop. Additionally, he noted the support from Dr. Brett Kurtze and his team at the DHS and S&T Office of Standards in addressing the nation's critical need for standards and compliance programs related to this topic. He concluded his remarks by thanking all attendants for their active participation as subject matter experts and wished them a successful and productive meeting. David Capozzi, Executive Director of the U.S. Access Board, stated that issues surrounding the topic of emergency preparedness for people with disabilities are both broad and interwoven, and ultimately we all share in the responsibility of addressing them. Additionally, he noted two current endeavors being carried out by the U.S. Access Board, specifically work related to emergency transportable housing, an initiative resulting from Hurricane Katrina and Rita, as well as enhancing emergency alarms on passenger vessels to be inclusive for both visual alerts in addition to the current audio alarms. He concluded his remarks by stating that the U.S. Access Board looks forward to providing continued support to this ANSI-HSSP initiative in response to the standards-based needs of the community of persons with disabilities. Christian Dubai, Vice President and Chief Engineer of the National Fire Protection Association, NFPA, and ANSI-HSSP co-chair, communicated the primary objective of this workshop, which set the context of the discussion to follow: engage leaders, experts, standards developers, as well as those impacted by emergency planning to address the need for a new or revised standard to codify the planning and/or procedures and specific equipment needs associated with the evacuation concerns of the disability community. He outlined expectations for participants and encouraged attendees to think beyond their own turf, while voicing concerns and focusing on specific standard-based solutions to address them. Lastly, he thanked the American Red Cross for their generous sponsorship. Evacuation of people with disabilities from recent events. Hillary Styron, Director of the National Organization on Disability and Emergency Preparedness Initiative, and workshop co-chair, moderated this panel. Overview of concepts on evacuation. Erica Kulowski, Fire Protection Engineer, and National Institute of Standards and Technology, gave a presentation that focused on social science research, findings, and application for practice related to the warning system. as well as public response summarization over 50 years of research on this topic. She concluded her remarks with a summary of the next steps related to future research and application needs.